Hey guys, what's up? Jack and No Trades here. Welcome back to another episode of Coach Overwatch. Today we're going to be hanging out with ThunderAnimal and his Zenyatta as they attack on Temple of Anubis. Give you a heads up, if you see down here, we're 14 minutes in, and that's because there's been 2 other rounds. So earlier they were attacking on Velskaya Industries and they floored the enemy team. However, during the defense, the enemy team floored them. So everyone's been on this little niche of momentum, and that's good. The problem is we're on this little bit of a tiebreaker, and we're going to watch this match, analyze the Zenyatta, analyze the healing and medic class, and try to figure out what things we can improve on. So let's just kick things off and see how the attack goes. Okay, right off the bat, good job spotting the sniper. That tool, that Discord, is a little bit of... Think of it like a toned down version of Widowmaker's ult, because now everyone on your team knows at least where that person's going to dip out and go for safety. So good job, and good job knowing to check there. It's good enemy pressure for them to just kind of snipe down and annoy the team and maybe distract them from other things going on. So great spot, good mark, and let's carry on.
There's some faggot up there like trying to shove him in his fucking cum, dude.
Okay, good healing, good healing. Good job staying back. And then right here, we just make an advance that is a little bit too extreme, I think. We had 3 teammates behind us. Let's go back. All right, D.Va, Tracer's down. D.Va went back there. And then we had, I think, 2 or 3 teammates behind us. Soldier 76. And here, we made too much of a push. I think what would have been a lot wiser is to hang out with the soldier. I know he has a heal, but at least mark him so he can apply more pressure, shoot some rockets downrange, and break up that team right there. It's a little bit more valuable for you to stick back, hang out, heal, and instead of losing you 100%. So there's one more thing we need to talk about, and I'll bring your attention to it. So let's just watch what happens. All right, so we have a Bastion, it seems. Then we have the Lucio come in and take you out. But then right here, there's another Zenyatta. And here's the thing that I think happened. Okay, now we're going to go a little bit further back, to be honest. Right here. Okay, we're watching. Great mark. Boom. We've gained a Discord orb. Now, it's pretty safe to assume that that was not a Zenyatta up there. So, where did this come from? Well, we're going to watch a little bit more. Okay, it was returned, which... I wish we wouldn't have forgotten about it. Notice kind of gone, huh, what's going on here? Because... Boom, there he is. He was providing almost sniper fire as well, and that Bastion in there with him marking you two is a very, very big threat. I know a lot of people like to say, oh, Bastion's easy to counter if you know what you're doing, and yes, that is true. Bastion's counters have been found out, but a simple Bastion paired with the Discord orb, that's not fun. You don't want to deal with that. And basically, the thing to take out of this is notice weird things happening and kind of take mental note and say, wait a minute, where did that Discord come from? Because if we can pinpoint the problem, we can have a better advantage in these team fights right here. So we're just going to keep watching, see what happens. Just a minor thing to work on and kind of a random situational thing, but something to work on nonetheless. And there he goes, going back to safety with his team. All right, we're going to just fast forward a little bit. We're going to watch. Okay. Let's see what happens, and then we'll talk about it. Okay. Now, in this situation, it wasn't ideal. But let's pretend that this Tracer is someone else. So she has her healing orb, but it returned. And we know that because we can see the RB to shoot it again at her. If this is another teammate, I know Tracer's very squishy, so are we. Let's pretend it's the Winston. So the Winston's right here. Absolutely, throw it at him. We may have it returned right away, but it's good to just constantly have that healing going on and helping our teammates because every little bit counts. Now, the reason I'm saying it doesn't really matter in this situation is because unfortunately she does get hooked and then taken out by the Roadhog. But okay, let's pretend that Tracer had blinked and gotten away from it, or done her time warp to come backwards. Just there's things that could have happened that would have been a little bit more useful. So in the end, just pretend that it was maybe the Winston in this situation, and just get into a habit of healing the teammates before they get into problems. So let's see what happens next. There she gets taken out.
I'm not really care. They just let us in there.
And we're watching. Okay, so I talked about, I didn't bring this up on purpose. I wanted us to get a sense of just how long that we basically was naive to this Bastion right here. So let's go back. 1548. That's where we're at. 1549, 2, 3, 3 seconds. Now, in life, 3 seconds isn't a very long time, but in the opportunities that Overwatch presents us, you could say the same thing about Call of Duty, Battlefield. Right now we're playing Overwatch. Sorry guys, I have Battlefield 1 on the mind. And don't worry, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. There's actually stuff in my notes that's going to talk about Battlefield. So, there has been 3 seconds. 3 seconds that we could have marked the Bastion, possibly taken him out, given our teammates the damage boost in order to take him out, and unfortunately, we just forgot about him until it was too late, and it's sad. You had a lot of time, so one of my key things, just work on situational awareness, because he was definitely a problem for your team, and you could have helped out a lot. Alright, so we're going to get back into the fight.
Yeah, dude. You never had rubber juice?
Okay, I'm going to go back. Hopefully it's not too loud, but the 16 minute mark, I don't remember. I'm looking at my notes, and unfortunately my recording software does not allow me to hear the game audio while I'm recording. But the point is, as you probably just heard, I'm very, very glad to hear everyone using their microphones. The problem is, we aren't really using them. And video games are a pastime. They're hobbies, they're ways to relieve stress, and I understand that 100%. But in competitive games like Overwatch, our mics are a very valuable tool, and it's honestly my suspicion that the enemy team is very heavily using their comms to not only use callouts, but develop plans as far as defenses and everything like that. And please don't get this wrong. I want everyone to have fun while playing this game. So if Overwatch is fun to you for hanging out with your buddies, talking, making jokes and everything like that, by all means, keep doing it. But in moments of trouble, you, ThunderAnimal, I want you to step up and be that leader who says, all right, hang on, we got to figure out how to take A in this situation. So step up, be a leader, and get everyone's focus back into the game itself. It's a competitive game. There are plenty of times to be casual. It's just I'm going to assume that your team wants to win right now, and the mics are a very valuable tool to, well, win. So step up, be the leader, and initiate everyone communication to kind of gear back towards the game. So I'll go back in time just so we can get a fresh take on this battle that happens.
Rubber juice? Yeah, dude. You never had rubber
Okay, so it's 2v1 right now. Unfortunately, we had 2 teammates drop. It's very tough because you are a very good player. There's just minor things that we need to talk about. So this example right here, we see two teammates, and they've gone around, and then now they're flanking the enemy. And it's rightfully so, because if we look, we have 2, maybe 3 back in that corner, enemies facing the main gate. So had this flank worked, they were probably trying to take out the Bastion as well. This is just another thing that crossed my mind. But we see the flow of our teammates going to the left. Naturally, unless you're trying to just be a distraction, and maybe that's something you talked about, it just stinks I can't hear your mic. It would have been a lot better and more helpful in this situation. You can see she's got the critical. If you were to just kind of tag along, be a part of that flank, stick to the back lines, heal them, mark enemies. But here, you're at a very big disadvantage, and it doesn't work out very well. So notice the flow of your team, kind of stick with them, develop a game plan, like I said earlier, and things will pan out a lot better for you guys. And we get taken out. So to kind of prove a point right here, we only see it for a second, but we had D.Va in her defense matrix directly next to us. Hopefully I can, there it is. So we could have known that D.Va was coming and she could have been your shield. And sticking with her definitely would have saved us during this encounter with Roadhog. So talk with your team, notice the flow of teammates, and stick with them. Okay, so not a lot happens here. We can see our team's in trouble, and Zenyatta's just slow, so I know that you're getting in there. Good mark on the Roadhog. Now, well, actually, I'm going to let this play out, and then we'll talk about it.
Is it really that complicated to talk about babies that come on them?
Good mark.
Does it really have to get into this
Good
long
cover.
discussion about babies and come at the same time?
Yes, the fastest out.
And it's right here. Either you noticed the call out from your teammate or you heard the Genji behind you. And very, very good observation. Here's the problem. We actually heard Genji a lot earlier. But it was actually before this this fight with the Lucio. Let me go back. Okay, so we're at the Roadhog getting taken out. Boom. We're getting hit by what is Genji's throwing stars. And so we go in here, we take cover. But now we've forgotten about the Genji. We knew we were getting hit from our right side, and we are just focusing this main tunnel. And the problem is, let me go back. Hopefully we can see it. I know right there we have our Widowmaker. The thing is, the Genji's going to take out the Widowmaker, and what could have happened is you could have provided that cover that she needed. 2v1 is always better than 1v1. Same with 3v2. So the point is, the Genji had only peppered you a little bit. The real damage came from this fight with the Lucio. So had you backed up with the Widowmaker, discorded him, then had both of you applying pressure, that would have gotten that Genji out of there, and definitely would have avoided the back flank that he was able to pull off. So be mindful of, once again, the situational awareness. So it pains me, it happened. Overwatch is a very, very intense game, but just make note of these cues that happen. And look, the Genji forgot about you. I don't know if he had shiny nickel syndrome. Think of it. So he sees the shiny opportunity of maybe popping his ultimate or going in there deflecting all of the damage, and he forgot about you 100%. That's an easy kill for Genji. So I'm glad he forgot about you, but it's just things like this that happened to you personally a few seconds ago. So look how much problem this, or I'm sorry, look how many problems the Genji is setting himself up for that could have alternatively been you 15 seconds ago. So stick with your team, be mindful of what's going on around you, and protect them. That's your role as the healer.
You can't deflect this Genji. Just can't.
Yeah, dude, Genji's useless against Winston.
Sure.
So here's one thing, and I play Zenyatta a lot. Like, Zenyatta is, I guess you could say, quote-unquote main. It's important in Overwatch to constantly switch between heroes, depending on every situation, so that's good. But as someone who can relate by seeing a Zenyatta player play, I want to point out that you healed the Winston, and you didn't accidentally start healing, I think it was a Tracer. I can't tell in that little thick of things. Yes, Tracer. You let the orb stay on Winston as long as possible. That way he could maximize how much health he was going to get back, just in case there was something going on here. I'm going to assume that was your plan, and if not, let positive reinforcement allow you to keep doing that. So let's continue on. Just quick little thing. Good job making sure that the Winston had the health as much as possible because he needed it. Good mark on the Roadhog. And also, great job on this advanced staying behind your team. That is, I know it's boring, but as Zenyatta, that's your role. You can't heal people behind you. And we'll get more into that, and we'll see more examples of why it's necessary in a little bit. But anyway, right here, this is perfect. And then we've made a push and put all of our teammates behind us. So it was half good, half great, half, well, disappointing. But let's see what pans out. Okay, so that's my point. The push was just a little bit too aggressive. We're going to watch it again. So here we are. honestly, I think this archway is perfect for a Zenyatta. There's no drop on bullets. There's no danger of being far away because you can just tuck around the corner and get out of there. But we've made the push. We felt a little too confident, and it came back and bit us in the butt because of, well, the Genjis. Alright, I'm going to fast forward till we get back in the fight. We don't need to watch the kill cam. Alright, good healing. Now, this is kind of that same conversation as we had with that Bastion. We had plenty of opportunity to mark that enemy. I don't know exactly who it is. It might be McCree, but we didn't. And it could have been the matter of life or death for the Roadhog. I know that the Roadhog didn't die, but let's pretend it was the injured Widowmaker who was basically on her last stretch of life. Anything to help the team is going to be necessary, and it doesn't cost you anything. We've missed our opportunity. There it was. We could have marked. In this situation, absolutely, when you see it, throw the orb. Throw the Discord because there's nothing else going on over here that would say, uh-oh, no, this person is more important to mark. There's nothing going on. Just shoot it right at him. Take care of it, and hopefully it'll save your teammates from getting damaged too much.
Bastion's dead.
Nice.
Oh crap, shot at her.
Okay, I purposely wanted to watch all of that just to kind of look at things that we talked about, see if you might notice stuff where you say, oh, I needed to work on that. Right here, this first little team fight, if you will, it's a little divided and split up, but hey, everyone's doing something. You've marked the Lucio, and this, the Genji right here, I think that's just a matter of human error. It wasn't long enough for us to say, uh-oh, we need to make sure we pay attention to the Genji, because you do shift your focus. Don't stress it. That one, I'm just going to say, all right, we were looking, and then we went, oh, snap, there's a Genji right there. So I'm not going to nitpick that, and I wanted to specifically say I'm not going to, because it's A-okay. Things happen, and you took the cover that was necessary. Great job staying back. We knew we had a Roadhog. We had someone else back here. Let me see. It looks like it's a Tracer. This is not the time for you to make that badass push and save the day and make sure everyone gets taken care of, and you didn't. What I'm going to assume, because I know you popped your ultimate, is that someone or you on the comms said, hey, I'm ready to pop my ult. Let's just make a push. And you did. So I think that's very, very wise. It was 2 against what looks to be 5 or 6. The only problem is it just didn't work out. And we'll watch this fight in a little bit. Okay, this is something that I want to touch on, and I'll elaborate more in the upcoming future because it's a little bit more apparent. But this team seems to be very, very coordinated on basically every action that they take. So you've popped your ult. Good, good, good. And then Genji pops his, which very, very good job with your aim, making sure to shut him down. Let's see, where'd he come from? There he is. Good job marking him. Good job taking him out. But here's the thing. Okay, we had Genji. We had, well, Bastion, because that's who got us. And then also we had what seems to... Let me make sure my memory is right. But there was a Lucio who dropped the beat as well. Right. So maybe it's dumb luck in this situation, but the enemy team coordinated their ultimates and definitely was able to keep you off of the point. So keep that in mind. Oh, the Roadhog had it too. I'm going to say that they did coordinate it. I have a little bit more evidence in the upcoming future, but good push. I'm going to assume that you coordinated with your team and said, hey, I'm ready to pop it. So good on you. The only problem is the enemy team is a little bit more structured than you guys. And I want to stress right now while we have some downtime is I think they're probably talking about the game. There are a lot of times or I can hear your teammates, well, making jokes, and that's all good. I do it every day. I make jokes with my girlfriend. I make jokes with the friends that I'm playing with. I make jokes 100% of the time. But I know when to turn off the switch and say, uh-oh, we don't... okay, we have 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. So there is some time, but even then, that was a very good opportunity for you to get a very, very good chunk of the points status bar off. So just know when to say, all right, boys, we got to settle down. Oh, there is one girl on your team, too. So boys and girls, we're going to settle down and definitely take this point. Great job sticking true to your guns here and knowing that that Bastion was committed to that spot. You took him out and got it taken care of. So good on you. Good pressure. I almost want to call you a Zen sniper. You definitely were sniping better than the Widowmaker, so that was awesome. And right here, we have a Roadhog beneath of us, but we don't know where anyone else is. And this is just to stress the fact that Zenyatta is a lot stronger of a hero behind your tanks, behind your damage dealers, because in a pinch, you are able to save them. I know earlier I said use D.Va as a shield, and right there she is. We know the Roadhog jumps down, but where's D.Va? There's a Soldier 76 as well, and basically you're taking the blunt force of this fight, and you're at 29 health, so back off, stay with your team, heal them, and you're still going to do just as much damage as you would have in the front lines. Okay, so this is another thing. It's kind of along those same lines of backing off. Now, I know we weren't in any danger, but if you look, we have this wall right here, and that's a pretty big staple of this map. In my opinion, what could have happened is we would have marked the Bastion and then backed up. Let me rewind as to signify backing up. But we would have backed up, had this wall as our cover, and you definitely would have had that Bastion. Although, unfortunately, we get taken out. So be mindful of the cover available, and don't become a sitting duck. You're very squishy as Zenyatta, and it's just the nature of the game. No map awareness, situational awareness. It was very good that you targeted him because that's a very easy kill. But just back up while you're shooting. It does not hurt, and it'll save your life.
Fucking cock,
How'd that Genji get so much heals?
He wants to see your butthole, that's why.
Let me fast forward a little bit. I had in my notes to kind of talk about the comms again, but when you have an unstructured commentary, you kind of do things off the cuff. Unfortunately, I do remember this. This was a very, very bad flank. There was no one on your team here to help you. And Zenyatta, like I just said, is very, very squishy. We had no idea if that Bastion was still alive. Actually, let me make sure, because you're very good. Yeah, right here. You are very good at checking to see who is alive and who's dead, and we still know that Bastion's there. Is it a slim chance that he's still staked up at the same spot? Yes, but do we also know Bastions? Yes. They hunker down, and then they are too stubborn to move. So bad flank, and it gets taken out. I understand that I can't hear, or we can't hear as the viewers, we can't hear your microphone in the gameplay. We can hear everyone else. We can't hear yours. I'm going to assume that you warned everyone of the McCree coming on their flank. I hope you did. It would be very, very wise. It doesn't hurt. But something like this Soldier 76 could have been sitting there ready, blasted him away, or healed up, made sure he had the advantage before this fight even took place. Make sure you're on your comms for the right reason, and in a competitive environment, communicate with your team. Okay, we're going to zoom ahead. Okay. So the enemy's used his ult. Good Discord. And we have a little bit of a team fight. You've used your ultimate, and it just didn't pan out. Here's what I think would have been a little bit better. Okay, so our team really hasn't made a strong push yet. And when you fall, we can see that all of our team is still... Let me go back. Oops, I went too fast. I'm sorry. We'll get back up there. our team is still a little bit behind us as we fall. So I think what would have been a wiser use of your ultimate, instead of wasting this precious time over here, would have been to gone under the bridge or hug the bridge and at least capitalize on that healing through the bridge itself. We lose what seems to be a precious 2 or 3 seconds here, and it could have made the difference.
Get fucked.
Okay. This stuff is very nitpicky because in Overwatch, it doesn't cost you anything to shoot. In other games, if you shoot, you lose ammo, and you're going to be at a big disadvantage if you have less bullets in the chamber. But in Overwatch, you can just spray and pray all day long. Sure, you have to reload, but you never truly run out of ammunition. That said, there are many of opportunities that if we would have hit our target, would have been a lot better. And the only thing I can say is practice your aim offline with bots. I can't remember who exactly it was that I watched this video. Maybe it was Lone Hawk or it might have been Force Gaming. But they do a setup with McCree or Genji, and you could do the same thing with Zenyatta. I know I have. And what they do is they put the enemy team on bots. They put it on very hard so that Ana is all over the place. And then they put it on headshot only. And what they do is they just practice leading the targets, strafing, shooting while moving, and shooting stationary targets as well. And I do this rep probably once a week. Sometimes I miss a week, and then I see it negatively impact my gameplay. But I try once a week to get into that bot match and just play it for 20 minutes. Just warm up, shoot some orbs downrange, hit some Anas, and make sure that my shot's going to be as close to on point as possible. So I wasted a lot of time talking about that idea to you, and I missed this whole spot right here. This seems to be like your little dugout, if you will. And I think it's very cool that you are a frontline player, and if that's more of your nature, then step down from healer and be more of a tank role. Because here we're at a big disadvantage. There's no one protecting us. Zenyatta is very squishy, and as you can see, you go, oh crap, I need to get out of here, and you backed yourself into a corner. If you know you need to get out, the solution is it to get yourself and turn around. The solution is just to move backwards and strafe while at the same time you're shooting to apply pressure and then get them off you. Because it's a straight shot right back there. Luckily, you do make it out alive, but just move backwards. You don't have to turn your back or put yourself in the corner.
Oh, bash it.
Okay, so once again, the Genji has flanked us. And it's very brief, but I believe when he was climbing, yes, right there. When he's climbing, thanks to Widowmaker's ultimate, we know he's coming, and we can use that time to back up. Unfortunately, that situational awareness did come back to bite you in the butt, and we did get taken out. There's nothing you can do, really. We're too squishy. Genji's ultimate is very strong. This is all pre-patch, viewers, by the way. So this is before Genji's nerf. In that situation, I don't even think the nerf would have saved us. But we had time to at least acknowledge him approaching. We could have gone behind the D.Va. We could have teamed up with her, or just got out of there 100% and hoped that Genji would have been distracted by the D.Va. Unfortunately, he chose to hunt you down.
What a fucking cowboy, dude.
Okay, I'm going to get us back into the fight. One thing I like right here is your planning of the healing. So we knew, okay, as soon as I get back here, I'm going to be ready to heal my D.Va. Unfortunately, she's behind the wall, but just that mentality of, uh-oh, she needs me, and then you're there for her is very good. Allow that habit to continue on.
What the fuck is the bastard doing there?
Great job hanging back.
Trying to show you his fucking
Good job
butthole,
strafing.
dude.
Good job marking. Everything. That was a very good push on your part. Our teammates didn't really do a whole lot, but you definitely were the right distance away. And this time you stuck with your team. We have a little bit of a sticky situation going on right now, but you hung back, you didn't push in, you stayed behind your teammates, and you were able to heal them when necessary, and it worked out well. Here's the problem. I let this play out because what I think ultimately did us in is the combination... Okay, the Lucio did get the killing blow. But here's the thing. We knew that Roadhog popped his ult way before any of this went down. Because, just like the Genji, we were getting peppered by it. You can see the hit markers right here, and they're coming from our right side. And that one right there says behind us. We heard him pop it. Now we're feeling it. And what we've done is we've avoided it, but then we backed ourselves up into the fray. Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot we can do because of the amount of enemy the amount of enemy players in front of us. But it's almost like we forgot about the Roadhog. We put ourselves back in that situation, and we were getting more unnecessary damage to our hit points. Okay, we have another team fight coming up. Great job hanging back.
He's probably in the normal
D.Va,
zone, but-
I wish she would not have ulted or wasted that ult.
Can't get anybody. That shit, dude.
All right, this is our moment. This is the chance we have. And right there, you've popped the ult. Now, I'm going to let this play out because this is the big one. This is the one that we need to talk about.
Yes, I got the back.
All right, you get taken out. So I'm going to go back in time. And for someone who may not have caught it, the viewers, what you've done is you've heard McCree activate High Noon. So instinctively you said, you know what, I need to help. But then here's the big thing that I've seen a trend with the enemy team is I'm going to coin it as stacking their ultimates. Not in a bad way, they're not hoarding it, but the team is communicating, I'm assuming, communicating with each other. The McCree popped his ult, and then Bastion popped his, and then after that, Genji popped his, and then let me look at my notes because I have it all written down because I knew I wouldn't be able to hear it. All right, let's go back in time. We have McCree, and then Bastion. Zenyatta's going to pop his, who just went right by you. Then Genji pops his, and then finally, Roadhog is going to pop his. So you get the Genji, and then boom. So what happened is, you were very wise when it came to countering the High Noon. The problem is, the enemy is very wise at coming to the fight prepared to do major damage to your team. And it's just very apparent in this situation because unfortunately we do not get the point. So my main advice, and I'll cover this in the summary, I have it written down as my number one thing, is steal this idea. Steal the idea of stacking your ultimates to come full force. And that's all going to be remedied by you talking with your team. And maybe you are sitting there saying, guys, we have to try this, and they don't hear you. It's very, very difficult because I can't hear your comms. To the viewers at home, ThunderAnimal, once again, is absolutely talking. We've been emailing back and forth. He's on the mics, just his recording software does not pick up the sound that he emits. So maybe you are sitting there saying, hey, everyone, I'm going to pop my ult, which is good. But the enemy team's sitting there saying, my ult's ready, mine's ready, mine's ready, mine's ready. All right, let's take him out. Steal that strategy.
I didn't go by what was a minute.
He's off to the right side.
Okay. I need to rewind just a little bit because in this push, let me pull it up real quick. Okay. Right now, we have a Reinhardt down there who's in critical. We have 2 enemies dead, and the Reinhardt's dead. This is just me pointing out once again your need to analyze the situation and say, oh crap, I got to get out of here. Turn around, because maybe someone's right behind you that could shield you. Maybe D.Va's behind you with her defense matrix, who at least is going to give you a fighting chance, giving them time to get back into the fight. One of the things majorly stressed is scattering your teammates, making sure that your team is moving as one team, because every push is going to be a lot more effective the other members you have. Here, it was 2v3, 3, and then the Reinhardt was by himself, so it was 3v1, and now it's 3v1, and the Zenyatta's very, very squishy. So back off, regroup with your team. This is maybe the, oh, jeepers, the 5th time it's happened, so please don't come off as me attacking you, but I just want to reinforce this mindset of saying, uh-oh, I need to get out of here and regroup, because this is not an ideal situation for someone as Zenyatta. We're just going to watch how it plays out.
I didn't kill one. Wasn't me.
He's off to the right side.
Man, they are getting us one by one.
You guys
And then finally, there we are. So, ouch. I can't stress it enough. Just be mindful of how many of your teammates you have left. Look, there's no one. There's no one there. So, take a minute. You've been very, very, very good at checking your surroundings, making sure everyone's alive before you pop your ult. So do the same when it comes to being in a battle, as Zenyatta specifically. Regroup with your team, take your time, and make pushes that are going to be effective rather than leave you very, very vulnerable as, well, none of your teammates are around. See, we've done the same thing. 2 fresh dead corpses, here we come. There's only 6 seconds left, so unfortunately, we can safely call the verdict of this match.
No, you got this. I'm doing this by myself, dude. Ready? I got one bullet to connect.
And there it is. Okay, so in summary, let me pull up my notes because I like talking about things individually with people and talk about good and bad. Not necessarily bad, but things just to work on and nip in the butt before it becomes a problem. So I'm going to rewind it back to that team fight. So we have something interesting to watch at least. And then you can review that footage to know just how long it was that you were, well, alone and at a disadvantage. All right, so let's start. In summary, I want to say very, very good job keeping your players, your teammates healed up, noticing exactly who needs your Harmony Orbs in exactly what right moment. So let's think back to that Winston as he was rounding the corner as we were making our first push to B. You didn't instinctively throw it to someone else. You allowed that Winston to have time to heal up as much as possible, just in case someone was waiting around the corner. I also want to say great job using your ultimate to counter and coordinating your ultimates to make pushes with your team. Be mindful of routes that you can take. So like when we fell underneath the bridge, just think, oh, you know what? I'm going to fall back because most of my team hasn't come up here yet. So just go backwards. And then good job having everyone on a microphone. Your whole team had it. Everyone was having a good time. Spirits were up. So that is very, very valuable. And I'm happy to see that going on. So to move right along to work on, let's stick with the topic of using a microphone. If people are going to have mics, use them. And this goes for any competitive game. So remember when I said Battlefield? I've been playing the heck out of the Battlefield 1 beta, and I know that my team, my squad, I guess I should say, performs a lot better when we're talking about the game and saying, oh, we're going to go to D, B, A, F, whatever it may be. We always typically do a lot better as we're talking about the game with one another instead of saying, oh crap, this person got me, or what the heck happened. And I don't want to cuss because your teammates were very funny but also very vulgar at the same time. So I'm not bashing your friends. I cuss all the time. So yeah, fuck that. All right. So yes, get on your microphones, get call outs, use call outs, develop call outs, arches, door, health pad large, whatever it may be. I mean, those are really bad call outs, but the point is at least your friends would know what you mean by it when you say it. So then number 2, definitely work on situational awareness. It broke my heart to see with that Bastion we wasted probably 3 to 4 seconds, in which I know I talked about isn't a very long time, but in a game like Overwatch that is a very long time. So situational awareness. Take mind of flanks that Genji was giving you, especially with that Widowmaker. And then the last one at the end, there was a little short notice on that one, but it's just one I have to point out. And then finally, use the other team's strategy in your future games. This clip right here is exactly what I mean, and I wanted to get back to it, and thankfully that worked out pretty well. So, you countered their ultimate, but they were ready with 5 other ultimates, and they used them 1 second after each other. So, someone would always be in the ultimate, maybe 2 seconds, but the point is, there was an onslaught of aggression from the enemy team that consistently worked out in their favor. I want to say that you are a good Zenyatta. The things that I'm talking about It's just stuff you need to work on. So please don't think I'm nitpicking you. I think you have strengths. Everyone has weaknesses. Look, that Reinhardt should not have charged like that. They grouped with their team, but that's risky. Everyone knows not to do random charges. But I'm very happy to see you playing Zenyatta because right now in the meta, he's very, very strong. You can definitely take a chunk of damage off people and your teammate can focus one enemy and take him out. And so I'm happy to see you playing Zenyatta. I think you're a very good Zenyatta. There's just things that you need to fine tune in your playstyle. And sooner or later, you'll be kicking butt and moving up the ranks even faster. Thank you so much, ThunderAnimal, for allowing me to review your footage. I love it. I appreciate it. And hopefully you have enjoyed and learned something. As the viewers, I can't thank you enough. Every Friday, sticking around. I can't believe I'm hitting 50 views consistently on these episodes. It means the world to me. So to each and every one of you, I owe you a big thank you from the bottom of my heart. I never expected this to work out the way it is, and I can't believe I have more footage to do even next week. So it makes me proud to help everyone, and I just love being a part of this community. If you guys enjoyed, smash that like button, and if you want your footage reviewed, let me know down in the comments because I'm going to say yes. You will be placed on the list, and I can't thank you enough for reaching out to me. It means the world to me. I can't wait to help everyone, and honestly, this series has made me take a step back and look at the shortcomings that I'm noticing and then fixing them myself. Nobody's perfect, but hey, we all need a little coaching. This is Jack and No Trades signing off.